Well, hello there, and welcome to the Pick a Card for the week of March 22nd through the 28th. You are to select from card group number one, card group number two, or card group number three. When you comment your card selection down below by Monday, March 23rd, you are automatically entered to win our March giveaway. And every week that you do this during the pick a cards, your name is added an additional time, which increases your chances of winning. So, I will quickly go over some announcements. If you want to skip ahead to your results, you can do that. The timestamp is down below. However, I do highly encourage that you listen to the announcements, as some things in my business have already changed, as I have been telling everybody for the past few weeks, as well as listen to our opening intuitive message, because I will do a bonus reading during the opening intuitive message, and you don't want to miss that. So if you do skip ahead, just make sure you come back and listen to the announcements and the opening intuitive message. So, as I have been telling you all, there have been some changes that have already occurred in my business. I had mentioned that I would be taking some products down and not having them as readily available as I previously did. And so, if you click the link down below to learn more about my business, if you've looked at it before, you will notice some changes, that a lot of my readings are not there, and some of my digital classes. And the reason for that is that I am focusing more of my energy on those who are more intentional about their spiritual goals or their personal goals, even business goals and self-love goals. And so because of that, it's not possible for me to just do general readings all of the time. So if you want to work more closely with me, I highly encourage that you get on my email list. My email list has been closed for almost a year, maybe longer than that by now. So it's just now reopened, where I am allowing more people onto my on my private email list, where you get updates, where you get notification on exclusive products and exclusive workshops and classes, and even my now my private coaching. And so if you want to get on my email list, make sure you click down below, and guess what you get when you do? You get access to a worksheet of mine that I just created called Astrology and Me. And the Astrology and Me workshop, excuse me, not workshop, worksheet, the Astrology and Me worksheet helps you to understand your sun and your moon signs better, so that you can understand yourself more. So if you, let's just say, are a Sagittarius sun and you are a Gemini moon, that worksheet will help you to understand more about your personality, your desires, your emotional needs, your goals, and your fulfillment needs. And so that worksheet is free to you when you download it, as a result of getting access to my email list or adding yourself to my email list. So make sure that you click down below to do that now. Also, make sure that you're following me on Instagram and Facebook, because I do give helpful and encouraging tips there, as well as announcements on some of my products. And so you want to make sure that you're getting updated there, because if you're only watching me on YouTube, you're missing like a whole week's worth of updates, because I'm only posting picker cards here on YouTube once a week. So if you want more than that, make sure you're following me on Instagram and Facebook. But again, more importantly, is probably to get on my email list. And then lastly, two last things. Make sure that if these readings are benefiting you in any kind of way, consider leaving a love offering, also known as a donation. There's no donation too small or too big. $1, $5, 10, or 10,000. Whatever is on your heart to give. The link to do that is down below in the description box, and that's just you showing your appreciation for this work that I do here free on YouTube, if you feel so inclined to do so. And I greatly appreciate those in advance. Also, subscribe to my channel. I'm so happy. Every time I look, I have more people who are beginning to subscribe and to like my channel and like my videos. And so that also encourages me to continue doing this work here. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up button on this video because that really helps my channel a lot, and I greatly appreciate it. All right, y'all. So that is it for my announcements. Let's go ahead and get into the opening intuitive message. So, as I was thinking about this particular pick a card for this specific week, this week is beginning with a lot of energy. You have probably been watching the news or very much aware of a lot of what's going on in the world right now. We're dealing with, we're getting a lot of information about this global pandemic. A virus is going around that, has people in a panic and in a frenzied state. And rightfully so to some extent. You want to prepare, you want to be, make sure that you and your family are well. And I talked about this a little bit last week during last week's pick a card, but it has intensified over this past week. So all of that is going on just as the sun is moving into a fire sign, the sign of Aries. And Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It is the sign that ushers us into spring. It is, like I said, a fire sign. It has its energy is very ambitious. It's very about drive and passion and blazing new trails and kicking doors down. And, it's about being bold and taking initiative. And very soon I will have my video, Everybody's in Aries, including you. I do those every time we enter into a new sign because we all carry all 12 signs of the zodiac in our charts. And so Aries is somewhere in your birth chart. And wherever it is where you're probably the most ambitious, where you probably, that area of your life is probably where you take the most risk. And so if, for example, if in your chart, Aries is in in the house of relationships, then that's probably where you get most of your motivation and your drive, or you're most risky even perhaps in your relationships. If Aries in the place of careers, and those same character traits will show up perhaps in your career space instead of your relationship space. So you get the point. And again, make sure you get on my email list, because when you do, you get the astrology and me worksheet, and it explains more about what Aries energy is. So we have just entered into Aries season. And so it's a very powerful sign. It's a powerful, fiery, it ain't no punk sign, right? So we got all that fire energy happening at the same time that we're also experiencing these global changes. Like people are having to swiftly make quick changes to their lives, quick changes to, how they're educating their children, because the children can't go to school because, what's going on. Quick changes to how they're working, because a lot of the jobs are closing down. And so people have to learn how to be innovative. And that is what Aries energy teaches anyway. Teaches us all how to be innovative and how to take initiative and to bet on ourselves and to take, chances, right? And to do new things. And even if we think about what is happening with spring in and of itself, it's like everything that was dead and dormant, boom, all of a sudden comes alive during this time of the year. All of those flowers that were not blooming just a month ago or so are now really coming into life. We're seeing more the grass turning green again. We're seeing flowers being flowers blooming. This is the time when people start planting even what they want to see grow, right? People start their gardens around this time. And so even that is helpful in terms of, even what you plant right now in your life is what you'll see come up later on. And so, with all of this going on, we are all very much encouraged to really tap into that fiery energy within ourselves. When I say fiery, I don't mean fiery in a destructive way per se, but I do mean not so much passive anymore. This is not a time to be passive. This is a time to make decisions. This is a time to be clear about what you want, because if you are not clear about what you want and what you're going to do to get it, or what you're going to do to make the changes you want to see in your life, if you're not clear about it, then what the world is showing us right now is that those changes and those choices will be made for you. And so there are some changes that are happening in the world right now that we just can't control. But this time period, we are all being encouraged to make sure that we have enough of that leadership, that fiery energy within us, to make sure we have as much control over our own lives as we can, so that even when these changes and shifts are happening in the world, we have more of a say of what happens in our own lives, instead of being driven by the chaos and confusion and scarcity and fear. Aries energy is not about letting you be fearful. Aries energy is about, okay, I see what's happening in the world. I see it, but this is what I'm going to do, or this is what I'm going to set myself or position myself to be and to receive at this time. So a couple of days ago, I actually condensed my whole 2 hour, the reading of the year that I did back in January. I filmed it on January 5th. And I condensed it down to like a little 5-minute snippet where I reminded people that 2020 is a year of change, a year where there may be some chaos, chaotic energy. Some things may look destructive, but at the same time that is happening is also the time when we are all encouraged to become leaders, where we're encouraged to not be moved by the chaos and confusion. And so I will link that down below, because I highly encourage that you go back and watch at least that 5-minute snippet. And if you want to go and watch the full 2 hour reading, that will be that link will be there as well. But what I'll link below is the 5-minute snippet, so that you can be reminded that even when things look chaotic and destructive, just know that this is the time for you to step into your own power and to ride the wave of change, so that change doesn't overcome you, but that you always come out on top. And so the bonus reading here is actually coming from this Goddess Energy deck. And so let's see what Goddess is at the bottom of the deck. Ooh, 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 ooh. Isis. Isis, wow. All right, y'all. And you already see it says rebirth down there. Isis. This goddess here, also known as Aset in the Egyptian or Kemetic philosophy or cosmology, is wow, this just speaks volumes to everything I just said. Isis is the goddess of rebirth. She really is. In her story, her husband was killed, and in her mythology or cosmology, her husband was killed and cut up into about 13 pieces. And at the time that this happened, they had not had their child yet. They had not had they had not procreated together. So not only did she lose her husband, but she was also upset because she did not have the opportunity to give birth as well. And so in her story, she goes on a long search. She gets her sister to help her in some parts of this trip, but she goes all over the world basically looking for the pieces of her husband. and puts him back together, brings him back to life, so that then the two of them can procreate and they give birth to Horus or Heru. And so Isis's husband, or Aset's husband, then becomes the lord of the underworld, and he becomes the lord of judgment, and he judges people's hearts and their lives once they have passed on. And so he rules the underworld, and then his son that he and Aset have becomes like a hero to Egypt. He becomes the new leader. He becomes like the sun, really. And so I'm really rushing through that story because there's so much to it. And if you want to know more, definitely read it. But the point is that Isis is the one who is able to resurrect, if you will, death to life. And so I feel that her message to us at this time is that during this time when we're seeing a lot of chaos, destruction, even death, or even the fear of death, because there's a lot of conversation about, a sickness that is going around. And so it's this fear of death. But Isis is reminding us that that even in death, there's life. She reminds us of the cycle of life, and she reminds us all of our own power to bring that which is dead back into life. And ultimately, what I'm feeling is not so much about the life and death aspect, it's the power. It's the power to choose life or death. It's the power to not to look at circumstances, but to actually see what you want and then create that. Because if she looked at the circumstances, she would have assumed, oh, well, her husband's dead, so that's it, But she knew that if she could put him together again, that he would be brought back to life. And so she was not moved by what she saw. She was not moved by the circumstances. She was only moved by the vision that she had within herself and the supreme awareness and the supreme confidence in her own power. So likewise, you all, me, all of us have to remember our own power. And what better season to do that than during Aries season, during a time when we're talking about new life, when we're talking about even nature is coming out of a death cycle and back into life, coming out of winter and into spring. And so that is what we're doing. We are being rebirthed and reborn and reminded of our own power, and reminded not to look just at the circumstances that are going on around us, but to look and within to know our own power, and then bring to life the areas of our lives that we think are dead, or we think we have no power or control over. She reminds us that we do carry the power to bring new energy and new life into all areas of our lives. All right. So that is the bonus reading for this week. You know what I always tell you to do. If you want to know more about this goddess, make sure that you read her story. You can just Google her story. Because all of the goddesses have their own stories and mythology are designed to teach us life lessons. And so there's so much more to her story. Obviously, I'm not going to tell it all here, but that could give you more of an insight and meaning into what you most need to know, do, and be aware of at this time in your life. All right. So that is it for the opening intuitive message and our bonus reading. Before we get into card group number 1, I want to remind you to make sure that you subscribe to this channel. I greatly appreciate that. Like this video, give it a thumbs up, send a love offering if you feel so inclined to do so. And then also get on my email list so that you will be notified about my products and services and some of my exclusive products that I probably won't even announce publicly. I will only announce it to my list. All right. So card group number 1, your reading is up next. All right. Greetings and welcome to those of you who selected card group number 1. I will quickly go over the announcements just in case you are one of the ones who skipped ahead. If you go to the link that I usually share with you all, you will notice something very unique. Is almost nothing there. As promised, for the past few weeks, I have said that I am pulling a lot of my classes and even my readings and my bookings and everything is coming down so that I could give more of my energy and attention to those who have some very intentional spiritual and personal and even business goals. And so, how can you end up getting a reading with me or work more closely with me? Make sure you get on my email list, because it is through my email list that I announce exclusive products and services, and then also ways to work more closely with me on your personal goals. And so, and when you get on my list, you also get a free copy of my worksheet called Astrology and Me, where it will help you to know the meaning of your own personal sun and moon signs and what that means for you. And so make sure that you download, when you get on my email list, you do so by downloading that worksheet. And the link to do that is in the description box. Leave a love offering if these readings are benefiting you in any kind of way. It doesn't matter whether it's $5 or 500. You know, it's about reciprocity. And I greatly appreciate any offerings that you give. Also, subscribe to this channel and like this video because it helps my channel. Oh, also comment, as usual, comment your card selection down below by Monday, March 23rd, if you want to be in the running to win our monthly giveaway. And so the March giveaway will be announced like next week or in 2 weeks from now. Either way, comment down below so that your card selection by the 23rd so that you can be in the running to win. Then before I go into it, one more thing, make sure you rewind this video and go back and listen to the opening intuitive message because I gave a bonus reading there. And so if you want to hear that reading, you'll actually need to go back to the beginning of this video to get that. All right. So the stone that you have on the top of your cards is a fire agate, which is very much in line with us right now being in Aries season. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac and it is a fire sign. Aries is the energy that comes to bring us new life after being in the winter season. So it really deals with that fire and drive and passion and ambition and all of those sorts of things. And the fire agate really helps with that. It helps to ground you also in your ambitions and in your power, giving you confidence in that way. It's also a stone that can help with protection and making you feel safe and secure, which is very important, especially right now with a lot of the things that we're going through in the world right now. A lot of people don't feel so safe and secure. And so fire agate can actually help you with that and actually give you or make you more in tune with your own power. And so, you know what I always tell y'all to do if you want to know more about this stone, make sure you Google fire agate. All right. So this week we are looking at what you most need to know, do and be aware of to really step into your own power, even during this time when some people are really feeling powerless, how to really utilize, how to embrace the change and not have the change overtake you, any changes overtake you, but where you are in the power seat of the inevitable changes that are occurring. And so what came up for you? I love this card, especially for the reason that we're doing this pick a card this week. The Magician. Wow. The Magician, oh my gosh, is such a powerful, powerful card. Because this week we are experiencing so much, and I highly encourage as you go back and listen to my opening intuitive message where I really went deeply into this topic. But because this week, the past couple of weeks, we have been experiencing a lot of global changes that seem like we don't have control over. A lot of people are being driven by their fears or worries, or they don't know what to do whether it's something as simple as thinking that they're going to experience some sort of sickness, or they're losing their job because of what's happening, or they don't know where their income is coming from, or they don't know what they're going to do with their children who are coming home, or they just don't know what's happening in the world, and it's just so much, and just don't know, it just don't know, it just don't know, right? So with all of that happening, we are also in Aries season, which is reminding us that we have power. We have the ability to shape the destiny of our lives. That is what the magician is saying. The magician is when this card comes up, he's usually reminding you of your own power. The magician reminds you that you have the power to pull down any resources that you need. If it's information or a new skill, a new idea, a new idea on an endeavor to take on, the magician is like, oh, okay, just ask for it and it will be yours. Ask for it, believe it, and it will be yours. If it's physical resources you need, such as food, clothing, shelter, water, financial resources, human resources to help you, then ask for it, call it forth into being, and it will come for you. If it's emotional support that you need, if you're just in need of love, or if you are in need of you're feeling emotionally battered in some kind of way, or just emotionally drained even, then the the magician reminds you of your power to call upon those emotional reserves that you need to fill you back up. If you just need, you just lost your mojo, you don't have any more, nothing motivates you anymore, you don't have enough drive or ambition, or you just don't know what pursuits to actually pursue, or even sexual drive, right? Because the fire agate deals with sexual energy, and the magician, I mean, look at him, you know what I'm saying? So there is that element of virility and passion there. So if you need more of that, or you're desiring more of that to come into your life, then that is what you can call forth. But the magician reminds you ultimately that you are the magician, meaning you are the one who manifests that into your life. But when the magician card comes, it's also a reminder that this is an optimal time to manifest it, because sometimes manifesting what we desire and what we want in our lives seems so difficult, but then there are other times when it seems so easy. And so the magician is saying this is an easy time. You can't look at what's happening. You have to look at internally what you want, and then speak it and call it forth into your physical existence. The magician, I mean, even when you think about magic or a magician in general, what do? You can't look at what is, you can't look at the hat. You got to know that there's a rabbit in the hat that's being pulled out, right? You can't, so even the magician is saying to you, if you're only looking at what is happening around you, or what you have currently, to determine what you can have or what is going to happen, then you're already losing. But if you if you look at everything that's going on and you say none of that really matters, really, because life will go on, life will continue, I will be healthy, I will be safe. Okay, if this job closes, I'll have another one, or I have other opportunities to generate income, whatever it is that you want. And the magician says, bet that's your power source, by knowing that ultimately you have more power over your life than what is happening outside of you. The magician always reminds you of your power. But on the flip side, because the magician can be a trickster, if you don't believe that you can do it, then the magician will go along with that too, and just be like, oh, okay, I guess you ain't gonna have what it is you want, So ultimately, the magician, like I've been saying, through the opening intuitive message, through everything so far, is about your power. He's reminding you, or this card is reminding you of your power, and to step into it. And you can't look at what's happening around you. You can't be a person of power and be looking at what's around you and thinking that what's around you or what's happening around you has more power over you. Now, I'm not saying don't be cautious or concerned in some kind of way, or not to be aware of things that are happening either globally or in your own personal world. It's just saying that, it's like when you're driving a car. If you know how to drive a car, yes, you are, mindful of the cars that surround you, or the car that's behind you, or the stoplight and all these other kind of things. But you ultimately have more confidence in your ability to drive that car than in your fear of everybody that's around you, that you think can't drive as well as you, because you are in the driver's seat. You know that if somebody swerves in your lane, you'll just swerve the other way. You have there's you have to have some kind of confidence in your ability. And so that's what the magician is saying and reminding you, to be more confident in your ability, and or the God that's within you, or your righteous ancestors, or your higher self, or your angels, whatever it is that you work with. Have more confidence and trust in that than you have in the chaos and confusion and whatever it is that you might be worrying about. And so the wisdom card that came up for you, let's see, no place like home. Wow, this is interesting. So no place like home is wow, that's very interesting too. So now that we're all being told over the past few days to stay at home more, as a way of being, cautious, or taking precautions against some of the things that are happening. And so no place like home says authenticity, coming home to yourself, feeling at home, arriving at a place where you just fit, being comfortable in your own skin. Home feels safe and secure. It's a comfortable place to rest and create, a place that is known and you can call yours. This card signals that your ability to trust yourself, to trust yourself and feel at home in your own skin is beginning to solidify as you claim your dignity and integrity, aspects of yourself no one can take away from you. You know who you are. You hold your head high, yet with neither pride nor humility. Instead, you stand as an observer, seeing through the eyes of your soul. This puts you in a position of power and strength. Oh my gosh, y'all, I don't be flipping these cards over before I hit play on the camera. So I just love when it comes together like this. Okay, I'm gonna read that line again. This puts you in a position of power and strength. Authenticity is your home. You are safe here in the house of your spirit, lowercase s, and spirit, capital S. So you are at home within yourself and with the God that is within you. You are at home. If you want to take it literally, since this week, again, we are being asked to stay at home more, or some of us are actually required by law to stay at home. And so at home, get reacquainted is where you get reacquainted with yourself. In your physical, literal home is where you get reacquainted with yourself, is where, you find the calm and get in touch with yourself, reacquainted with yourself, where you get into a space. I see some of you really just getting into a space of being more creative, because you're required to be more quiet and be more in a central place at all times, becoming more creative, finding and discovering things about yourself and skills about yourself that you didn't even know that you had. That's even part of the magician too. You'll be pulling out things from within your own soul that you didn't even know you had. Thoughts, ideas, creativity. You're relearning yourself, and you can only do that most of the time is when you're quiet and you're stuck. It's almost like when we were kids, and if you couldn't watch TV and you didn't have any games to play and you couldn't go outside, there was an element of boredom at first, but then that boredom created creativity. So some of you, that is what you will be experiencing this week, just being in your literal home, but also finding comfort within yourself. So if it's not even just your physical home, just being at home with yourself, getting reacquainted with yourself and finding comfort within yourself and not needing to find the comfort outside of yourself or by through other people or doing a bunch of things. What you need, you already have. It's just a matter of being like the magician and pulling it out of yourself. All right. So that is your reading this week, March 22nd through the 28th. Make sure you comment your card selection down below by Monday, March 23rd, if you want to be in the running to win our March giveaway. Thank you so much to everybody who caught the hidden message last week and actually reached out to me for those for a special one-on-one reading. I meant to say that earlier, but I'll say it now. So thank you to those who did that. I so appreciate you all. And I so appreciate each and every one of you who are signing up now on my email list and receiving the Astrology and Me worksheet. I look forward to working with you all in a different way, in a way that is more empowering for us all. All right. Because these readings, they're general. They're for everybody. I enjoy them and you enjoy them as well. But for some of you, it's time to elevate. It's time to take things in your life to the next level. And so those are the ones that I will be working with. And so I look forward to those of you who will be taking me up on those opportunities as I make them available. All right. So that is it for your reading this week. And until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. Thanks for watching. Well, hello there. Greetings and welcome to the results for card group number 2. I will quickly go over the announcements just in case you were one of the ones who skipped ahead. Y'all, make sure you comment your card selection down below by Monday, March 23rd if you want to be in the running to win our March giveaway. Every week that you do that, your name is added an additional time to the hat, which increases your chances of winning. If you look down below at my if you click the link that I normally have down below, you will notice that almost everything is gone. As promised, as I've been promising for the past few weeks, I actually took down my readings and a lot of my digital classes, and so you're unable to book those with me at this time because my business is changing or has changed to where I'm I'm largely giving most of my energy to those who have some very intentional, spiritual, personal, business, or self-love goals. And so I am inviting you, though, to get on my email list. My email list has been closed for almost over a year, actually. And so I have just reopened it so that new people can get on that list. And how you do so, you click the link that's down in the description box. And as my gift to you, you will receive my worksheet, Astrology and Me. And that worksheet helps you to know the relationship between your sun and moon signs and how they're working together to create who you are. And so when you download that worksheet, you are automatically added to my email list, where you will receive exclusive opportunities to work with me one-on-one or to book readings with me and to get my classes. And so my business has changed in that way so that I could serve those better who have those kinds of goals. And so then lastly, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this video, and then also leave a love offering, also known as a donation, if this work that I do here on YouTube benefits you in any kind of way. And the love offering amount doesn't matter. It's just about reciprocity, just showing your appreciation. All right. So the stone that is at the top of your cards is a carnelian. And I love carnelian. Carnelian is one of those stones that, to me, it has a very feminine and masculine energy to it. Like, it's very that fiery energy, grounding, very powerful, which is perfect right now because we're in Aries season. And I will be doing my video very soon. Everybody's in Aries, including you. But at the same time, it has that very kind of a feminine quality to it, helping you to get in tune with your emotions and to know what you're feeling and why you're feeling what you're feeling. Helps to bring in abundance and success and prosperity. It's one of those stones that can cleanse other stones, cleanse the energy of other stones. And what's very important, and I actually didn't even think about it when I pulled this one for this week, but this is one of those stones that actually helps to remove the fear of death, and gives you a sense of protection. And so it can help to protect you. And so, with everything that is going on that we're hearing on the news right now, or that's going on in the world, I know that some people are really is bringing a lot of people down energetically, or they're stressed about it, with all of the pandemic and all the stuff that's going on. And so carnelian is a good stone to have to deal with that at this time. And so, you know what I always tell you to do if you want to know more about this stone, simply Google carnelian. Oh, make sure also that you listen to the opening intuitive message at the beginning of this video, because I did a bonus reading. And so you want to make sure you get that as well. So this week we are looking at what you most need to know, do, and be aware of, so that you can be in the power seat of all of the changes that are happening, instead of having the all of the changes overtake you. And so the card that came up for you, ooh, Temperance. Wow, I haven't seen this one in a while. Oh, this is good though. I'm loving this. Temperance is a card of balance. It's a major arcana card. These people over here got a major arcana card too. I ain't gonna tell you. You can go over there and watch it if you want to. Anyway, and major arcana cards is when those come up in the tarot deck. It's just is really something to pay attention to, because it's guiding you. It's like guideposts, if you will, on in this case, major changes, right? So the temperance card really deals with being temperate, being balanced, not being too emotional, not being too hot, not being too cold, not being too happy, not being too sad, not being, temperance is really overall about balance, and understanding that it is through balance that you are able to make it through the long term. And so if you're too fiery or too antsy or too anxious or too worried, you can burn out, and you won't really make it the long term, or you'll just kind of, and when I say make it the long term, what I mean is you will just kind of become so overwhelmed and so stressed that at some point you just give up, and you just don't care anymore, and you just quit. You just don't continue on whatever path you need to be on, because you just don't want to deal with it anymore. And then the flip side of that is that if you are too lax, too unfazed, and whatever, and I'm saying that in a less beneficial way, if you are more of that kind of person at a time when you should be taking more action and taking more initiative and stepping into your power, then you also won't be able to go the distance. And so it's about balancing your emotions, balancing your energy, knowing when to take action, but also knowing when to rest, but then knowing when to take action. Because temperance is all about being very temperate, being one who is prudent, one who is wise, one who is not just, suddenly moved by each new development, each new, you use your intuition you use to help to guide you and keep you balanced for the long haul. Because temperance also reminds you that the prize is not won immediately, that the goal is not achieved in one day. The temperance card reminds you that you have a journey. You have, you not that it has to be a long term before you get to wherever it is you're trying to get to, but it is about, in some ways, delayed gratification. And I talked about that. I want to say in my very first announcements at the beginning of this entire video, how I created a 5-minute snippet of the 2-hour reading of the year that I did back on January 5th. And I included that 5-minute snippet down below in the description box to remind people what I said about 2020 and what this year was about. And this year is about, yes, we will see a lot of chaos, confusion, perhaps destruction, but this is also the year where leaders are made, where those who are not moved by what they see, but those who are in it for the long haul and for the long term will really be the ones who are satisfied at the end of the year. This is a year of, in some ways, delayed gratification. And so the Temperance card is reminding you of that this is the time to not be so imbalanced, not get, because you don't want to burn out. You have to, stoke the fires within you just enough to keep you going, but not so much that you burn out, or become overwhelmed or anxious. And so the Temperance card is really reminding you to stay in that healthy, balanced state, and knowing that rewards are coming, satisfaction is coming, success is coming, health is coming, healing, so if you know it's coming, then there's no need to run or rush. Just ride in it, be already express gratitude. What is it that life isn't a destination, it's about the journey, and that life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. All of those sayings is what, is what will help you, is what the Temperance card is saying, to pace yourself and to enjoy every step of the journey along the way. And so the Wisdom card that came out for you this week is, oh my gosh, this is so on point with Temperance, here and now. I almost don't even want to read this card, the stuff that the information that came with this card, because it's almost self-explanatory, here and now. And then look at that. You got the past behind you, you got the future ahead of you, but you're here in the center, in the here and now. Focus on the here and now. So, but I will read what what this card has to say. So here and now, let's see. Here and now, being fully present in the moment, living one day at a time. Everything happens in the here and now. It happens in the here. Let me start over. Everything happens in the now, in the present. Only this moment counts. You have what it takes to handle anything today if you let go of the need to look into the future or reflect on the past. Be present and notice what is going on right now. This very moment has the potential for you to create miracles in your life. Hello. The here and now is where the magic is for you. If you're trying to rush ahead because you're trying to get out of the present moment, because you're trying to get to where you're trying to get to, or you're overcome, worried, anxious, or whatever, because you're thinking about what has happened in the past, or you're worried about the future, or you're worried about what's going to happen, then you're not in your seat of power. And this reading this week is all about, you stepping into your power instead of you being tossed to and fro by all of the other powers that be. So your power is in the here and now. It's in enjoying the journey. It's in enjoying the moment and understanding that you're on your way to your greatness. So if you know you're on your way there, why worry? Why be anxious? Why be concerned even about the changes that are happening right now? Because the changes ultimately will be working for you. If you know your power, if you center yourself in the here and now in a healthy way. Now, if in your here and now, if you want to be anxious in the here and now, you're going to burn out. Not going to make it the long haul, the long term. So you have to practice being temperate in the here and now, being balanced in the here and now, being calm in the here and now, because it's going to work out anyway. So you might as well calm down. It's all good and it's all right. Okay. So that is it for your reading this week, March 22nd through the 28th. Make sure you comment your card selection down below by Monday the 23rd in order to be entered to win our March giveaway. Make sure you go back and listen to my opening intuitive message where I did the bonus reading. And make sure that you click down below to get on my email list, because that is where I will be sending updates on exclusive opportunities to work more closely with me or to be able to book readings and other things like that. That's the only way you'll be able to do it at this time. Subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, leave a love offering if this video has blessed you in any kind of way. And I think that's it. So until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. Thanks so much for watching. Well, hello there and greetings. Welcome to the results for card group number 3. I will quickly go over the announcements just in case you were one of the ones who skipped ahead. Make sure you comment your card selection down below by Monday, March 23rd in order to be entered to win our March giveaway. Every week or for every pick a card that you do that by the following Monday, then your name is entered an additional time, which increases your chances of winning. So I have been saying for the past few weeks that all of my readings and digital classes and whatnot were coming down. And this is the week that it happened. So if you look at the link, all of those opportunities to book readings with me and all are actually gone, as I am shifting my business in order to work more closely with those who have some very intentional spiritual self-love, personal or business goals. However, you can still get courses from me or have an opportunity to book readings with me when they open if you get on my email list, which is awesome because my email list has been closed for over a year and I just reopened it this week. And so that link is down below. What you'll do is that when you click to download my worksheet, Astrology and Me, that automatically adds you to my email list. And with that, you will be notified on exclusive opportunities to coach with me, to have classes or if to work more intentionally on the goals that you have, and to get readings when I make them available. And like I already stated, to get on the list, you will actually download the worksheet Astrology and Me as my gift to you for opting into my list. And Astrology and Me just helps you to know more about your sun and moon signs and how they're working together to influence who you are. And so make sure you do that. And then lastly, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and like this video. If it is benefiting you, give it a thumbs up. Click that little thumbs up that's down there. And also leave a love offering, also known as a donation. That link is down below. If these videos are benefiting you or have been benefiting you in any kind of way, then I ask you to consider giving a love offering. It doesn't matter how big or how small it is. It's really about reciprocity and just showing your love and appreciation. So you can do that down below. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into it. The stone that is at the top of your deck is a green calcite. I absolutely love this stone. And it is one of those stones that I encourage people, I highly encourage you to have. It is one of those stones that really works with the heart chakra, building the heart chakra, bringing peace and harmony, and helping you to be able to love again, helping you to tap into your compassion, helping you to give or to receive forgiveness. It helps to any beliefs or paradigms or self-limiting beliefs that you have. It helps to demolish those so that you can be free of that and find peace and balance even in your mind as well as your heart. And so it's very calming, it's very healing. It can bring about abundance, wealth, and prosperity. So it's just one of those stones that it's just brings so much joy and love and calmness and restoration. And so you know what I always tell you to do if you want to know more about this stone. Make sure that you Google green calcite. Also, I meant to mention just now to make sure that you go back and listen to the opening intuitive message, because in that message I did a bonus reading And so if you go back to the very beginning of this entire video, somewhere in the opening intuitive message or in the timestamp down in the description box, it'll tell you exactly where to go. But listen to the opening intuitive message. And in that message, I did the bonus reading. All right. So this week, we are looking at what you most need to know, do, and be aware of in order to be in the power seat of your life as we are embracing all of these global changes. Instead of you being tossed to and fro with all of the changes that are going on, and which can cause fear, worry, anxiety, and all of that. This reading, we're looking at how you can actually be in the power seat of your life as these changes are occurring. And so the card that came up for you, let's see, the Two of Pentacles. Wow, this is interesting. I like it though. The Two of Pentacles. I like this card. Isn't it nice? How this deck did it. Anyway, the Two of Pentacles is a card of balance. Anytime you see the twos, they usually indicate some kind of balance, And even if you look at the I forgot the name of the snake. I can't even think of it right now, but that really represents like infinity, the constant, that where there is no beginning, there is no end. And that's kind of how life is. There is, in life there's death, and death there's life, there's rebirth. Make sure you go back and listen to that opening intuitive message, to that bonus reading, because I talked about that there. But the Two of Pentacles more so speaks to balancing life itself and all of the things that we all deal with in life. Because the Pentacles really deal with your physical resources, so as you receive money, you spend money, and as you spend money, you receive money. As you eat food, your body processes it, and then you waste it, and then you eat more food. It deals with the cycles that we deal with in life itself, with our physical resources, and learning how to balance them, knowing how much to eat, right? And balancing how much you actually intake and how much you give out with your food, with your money, with your time, with your energy, with your love even. And so the Two of Pentacles is reminding you to rightly balance all of your resources, your time resources, your money resources, energy, food, everything. Right now, so many of us are being required to stay in the house as a safety precaution for, what's going on right now with this global pandemic. And with that can come, for some people, I'm feeling, can come this feeling of being out of balance with your money, right? Because that's really been a lot of the conversation. Like, where's your money going to come from if you're not going to work, or will the government assist with that? What will you do with your children when they're home? How will you balance the TV time with the schoolwork time? Because this Two of Pentacles is just about balancing everything, right? For some of you, staying in the house means you might be eating more, so you have to balance, how much you're eating, or balance, your eating with your workouts, making sure that you're not just lying around the house all day. Whatever it is, it's about balance. You find your power through being balanced in a healthy way. But the Two of Pentacles on its lower energy also speaks to the imbalance that comes from feeling like you're juggling, this energy sometimes can feel like you're just not getting ahead. Like you do one thing and it's like a juggler. They throw one ball in the air and they have to hurry up and catch the other one. If they miss just one of those balls, the whole thing can collapse. And so the Two of Pentacles reminds you that if you plan your resources properly, you plan your money properly, you plan your eating, your physical well-being, if you plan your schedule, your time, then you will stay balanced, and things won't get out of balance, and things won't get ahead of you or away from you, or because you don't want to come out of this time of seclusion or social distancing and all of that. You don't want to come out of this time worse off. You know what I mean? This actually should be a time where you are using this Two of Pentacles energy to plan your resources, to really sit. If you haven't balanced your checkbook in a while, balance your, what's going on, this is the time to do it, So this time when some areas of your life might be slowing down, instead of letting that throw you into a frenzy about what am I going to do, how am I going to do, how am I going to do, use it as a time to plan and construct the flow of your resources. Even create a plan for, even if you don't have the resources that you want, create a plan as though you do have them. What would your life look like if you did have what you needed? So that can help. But at the same time, the Two of Pentacles, with it being a Pentacles card, it is very much very practical and real and down to earth. So you actually have to look at your actual resources that you physically have right now, and even your time and energy resources that you currently have right now. And how can you build those up? How can you build up your energy, your time, make your time more meaningful, more balanced, more useful? We all have the same 24 hours, but not everybody uses those 24 hours the same way. So this is the way to look at, or even look at how you've been using your time, money, and energy resources in the past that maybe weren't as balanced. So maybe reflect on that and then ask yourself, okay, how can I do things better right now? How can I structure and plan my life better now so that when things pick up again, I will be ready for that. All right. And so the wisdom card that came for you, this makes so much sense. Thinker, which is all about, whenever I see thinker, I know it's a time of strategizing, of thinking, of planning, of looking at everything that you have, or looking at everything that you've already done and asking, did I take the best course of action? What went well, what didn't, the pros and cons, and then strategizing and planning for the future. So I will read the information that came with this card, just to give you deeper insight into it. So let's see. Thinker. Almost found it. Okay, here we go. Thinker. Strategy, being analytical and logical. The ability to reason and strategize is the focus now. Take things at face value and follow the logical path. Your calculations will prove to be correct, for in this moment there is no deeper meaning than what is obvious. Things are exactly as they seem. You have all the information you need. Keep it simple and you will win the game of life you're playing right now. All right? So that's very simple. Strategize, think, be realistic, and again, because this Pentacles card, I said just a minute ago that I feel for a lot of you, it's about looking at what actually is, and not putting your head in the sand and ignoring what is. And I mean, what is could be good, but it's just about analyzing what you actually have, so that you'll know what moves to make in the future. Analyzing, even like some of you, this would be a good time to even look at how much water or electricity do you actually use in your house, like it's real practical things, so that like, is your bill accurate, or how can you save energy, actual electrical or gas or water energy, in your home. How can you, not waste the food that you have, or how can you shop better in a way that can feed your family for a longer period of time. I mean, it's really just about, the Two of Pentacles is just really about strategizing so that you can bring balance to your physical resources, and then to have that followed up with Thinker. This is really the time to really, I would say, I'm feeling for some of you to reflect over the past 6 months, look at what went well, what didn't, and then strategize and think and make your calculations and your logical analytics on how to move forward beyond this point. So I think that's pretty simple. And some real good can come of that. All right. So that is your reading this week for March 22nd through the 28th. Make sure you comment your card selection down below by Monday the 23rd in order to be entered to win our March giveaway. Go back and listen to the opening intuitive message because I went into detail about what's going on right now. And then I also did the bonus reading. And down below is also the link to look at a 5-minute snippet from my the reading of the year that I did back in January. Because that reading of the year, I kind of talked about what we're seeing happening right now. So I will make sure that that link is down below. But also get on my email list, y'all. I'm so excited about that because I have not opened that list in over a year. And so when you do that, you will get my astrology and me worksheets and then updates on exclusive opportunities to work more closely with me. Subscribe to this channel, leave a love offering, and like this video. All right, that's it. And until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. Thanks for watching. All right, y'all. So that is it for our reading this week, March 22nd through the 28th. Make sure you comment your card selection down below by Monday, March 23rd, if you want to be in the running to win our March giveaway. Make sure that you click down below to get on my email list because it is finally open. And when you do, you will get my astrology and me worksheet absolutely free, as well as updates on exclusive opportunities to work with me and to book your own readings. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, like this video, leave a love offering, and I think that that's it, y'all. So until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. Thanks for watching.